And 14, it's the 11th running of the Changist back straight of the calendar and along the main straight as well into a very tricky turn one.
Bit or gearbox or rear suspension, of course. So one of the casualties there.
On the grid, smoke coming from the tyres of Esteban Gutierrez, Kevin Magnussen's McLaren. It's lights out and away we go. Look at Felipe Massa go. He's already passed Nico Rosberg. He's now making a move. Sebastian Vettel. He touches with Fernando Alonso. Hamilton for Ricardo and Alonso, and the Williams of Valtteri Bottas getting shunted out of the way as they go round turn one. Now the corner tightens up and swings into turn three. Sebastian Vettel losing places. Massa just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Grosjean goes around the outside of Bottas. Behind Marcus Ericsson, he's lost places from his starting point of 14th down in 22nd at the moment. And Maldonado already up to 18th as we ride on board with Nico Rosberg, who's down in 6th place, the championship leader, behind Felipe Massa in the Williams, settling in now for the long haul. He's got a lot of overtaking to do.
It feels like I'm going backwards in the front wing or something.
One behind Jenson Button, and Jean-Eric Verne Button just has to concede as Verne keeps 13th place under immense pressure from Button, who's now trying to go in on the inside and has gone through on the inside. What a move from Jenson Button there through turn two.
Don't see too many overtakes there. That was very aggressive and good stuff from Jenson. He's in a hurry to get back.
Smoking brakes of Magnussen, and what a start from Felipe Massa, who's passed Rosberg in a flash.
Yeah, that was a touch wild from Felipe to move across the grid like that. You're taking a lot of risks, And
then there was Bottas and Rosberg.
Yes,
Rosberg had the contact.
That was where Rosberg's left front. And then when we go down into turn 6, I think we'll see Magnussen bouncing across the inside curb as well. And he's subsequently complained of maybe a front wing issue.
Alonso did really well there, got on the curb, which would have been...
Just quickly on strategy, keep an eye out. 3 stoppers if they do need to. It's quite cooler down here, so it might get grading between laps 6 and 10. 2 stoppers, the first of them will start coming in around lap 11 or 12.
So Lewis Hamilton going for a hat-trick of wins. His former best mate, Adrian Sutil, about to complete a hat-trick of DNFs with Nico Rosberg.
Okay, Nico, so we have no telemetry. We're not expecting to have any in the race. So we will get you to start looking at the fuel later. It's okay.
In construction than it was for the 2013 season.
Massa going quite slowly at the moment. He's now got Hülkenberg for company as well.
I wonder if he's suffering from graining as well there.
More damage, possibly, from his little aerial activity at the start.
When we talk about graining, the surface of the tyre starts to get very abrasive.
Yeah, he's left.
Quite good.
As they all started on, all bar one on the soft compound that started the race. They're discarding so much of the surface rubber.
Lewis Hamilton pulling away by a second a lap at the moment.
Okay, I start to have some serious grinding on the front left.
Understood, Sebastian. There are no good gaps behind.
So the strategy guys are saying, look, when the sun goes in, this track gets quite cool quite quickly. And once again, medium compound tyres going on at the first pit stop. Button and Grosjean, as we watch Fernando Alonso now locking up into turn 11.
Well, of course, as well as lateral grip, you also lose grip under braking. As soon as you get a bit of a flat spot, every time you lock the front, it stops in the same place. And you get a vibration that rattles the fillings out of your teeth at a couple of hundred. And look at this, Lewis has got a second or so over the rest of the field, at least. Especially these guys chasing him. Ricardo there taking a rip-off off. But so Nico Rosberg then, it's almost like he's holding station, isn't it?
Come to the pit wall and check my front wing and everything.
That's possibly Rebut in the front wing, Nick.
Hasn't stopped, goes a little wide, and Sebastian Vettel cuts through on the inside at turn 2. But by stopping a lap earlier, Fernando Alonso has moved himself up ahead of Sebastian Vettel now.
Okay, Danny, we're looking at 2 or 3 more laps. 2 or 3 more.
And of course, first man to pit for tyres.
Box, box, box.
And they've got to box Nico Rosberg now because cars that he's racing against have come in, so they've got to cover that. Sebastian Vettel has put in the fastest middle sector so far and is gaining on Fernando Alonso, but not down the straight as now Rosberg comes in. And this might take a little longer, this pit stop, if they're trying to clean away the benefit of better downforce, that maybe you can slip through on the first corner. Let's have a look at Alonso's teammate, Kimi Raikkonen, at the moment. In a duel with Romain Grosjean. 12th place is where Raikkonen is currently running. And while
he's never going to stop for that corner. I was sitting on board that. I was like, oh, we're heading off. But somehow he tippy-toed around the outside and Grosjean didn't bother too much coming back up against.
Expecting others to have to three-stop, I wonder.
That straight line speed issue, Magnussen hasn't pitted yet, so Raikkonen's on much better tyres.
Surprisingly, the front tyres still feel really good, as well as the rears.
And that is why Kimi could drive clean around the outside of the McLaren. And still Lewis, in that fresh air out front, picking his line, driving carefully, has conserved those tyres. That's the cue they need to bring that car in.
Yeah, he's coming in. I can see some bodies moving very slowly, purposefully, towards the front of the Mercedes garage, and they're coming in now.
So box this lap, box this.
71.9, 71.9.
Copy. So you have more fuel at this point than neutral target, so fuel is good.
So that would be kilos then,
yeah.
70Y as opposed to percent.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing in a way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
well, it depends if they're running 100%. If they're running the full limit, they might not be. Of course, it's not a track that's target. Do you think for the first round of pit stops, or did people start to come in a little earlier than you expected?
Probably a lap or so earlier, but more or less on target, I think, Crofty.
And in terms of fuel, not a track where you think you're going to be hampered by the 100 kilos limit?
No, I don't think so at all.
Brilliant. Thanks ever so much, Bob. We'll be back with you a little later in the race. We watch Kevin Magnussen now start to make his way back up through the field. He's ahead of Maldonado. He's ahead of Kobayashi, as you saw.
Okay, Daniel, pace is good. Only the Mercedes are quicker than you. You are quicker than Alonso and Vettel.
Understood. Keep me posted.
And of course, by virtue of a longer stint in a very handy position at the moment, the man who finished second in Australia and had taken Rosberg's job an awful lot harder. Now he's gaining. There's round about a 12-mile-an-hour speed differential between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. He's gaining. He's gone over onto the marbles. He's going to try and get Vettel on the inside of the air, but he looks up, and in looking up, forces Sebastian Vettel a little deeper than the world champion would have wanted. Now the drag towards the final corner, and Rosberg, does he stay in front? Yes, he does, through that final turn.
they're squabbling over fourth and fifth at the moment. But of course, that's allowed Rosberg to scamper away and head out after Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, and he's got a 6-second gap to try and make up.
Sebastian, let Ricciardo through. Let Daniel through, please.
We did.
For the second race running, Daniel Ricciardo, by being on a...
Which tyre is he on?
Primes, he stopped later than you.
Tough luck.
I thought so. I thought so.
So we're not going to be obeying those teams. Was yielding, and then it carried on going wider for him.
Yeah. We'll find out later.
He certainly opened the door, didn't he, going into the first turn?
I think he was busy looking in his mirrors. He didn't want to turn in on his teammate and just got in there a little bit hot personally. But he was able to turn it into a yield anyway.
Yeah. Well, it certainly looked like a yield in the end, and I'm sure if you ask him afterwards, bridge that spans the paddock and the other side of the track. Magnussen's going to go around the outside, makes it easy on Gutierrez, can slot in to the racing line before they get into turn one, and Gutierrez forced to
slow him down much, actually.
Sebastian, stay out. It helps us. Please stay out. It helps us. We are aware.
What a difference a year makes.
Doesn't it just? Both for Sebastian Vettel and for Romain Grosjean as well. No fourth gear. Never had a single retirement of Lotus on this track before. Is that a consequence of not having fourth gear?
Could be. Could well be, because that's an unusual moment. But if he can't, maybe he pulled down and then look at that. Yeah,
that is a fourth gear corner, I think, turn 11 as well, Martin. And it looks to me like Grosjean might have just accepted his race is done here. Ted, Fiat, the top 10 points.
This tyre doesn't feel as good as the last one. Starting to get green on the left front.
Maybe all not completely smooth sailing for Lewis Hamilton. Actually, a couple of tenths slower than his teammate, but still half a second clear of Fernando Alonso on the last lap.
Compound, of course, to the tyres he started the race on.
And he locked up there, he did. Not going to use those tyres again, certainly not after that. Ted.
Wore a hole right through the car. I'm right next to the Force India pit stop, and I could see the canvas, but of course it's not canvas.
Yeah, you could see a black line as well into this hairpin. There it is. That's almost
good.
Push hard now to pass Alonso.
They're showing blue flags to the wrong people.
Yeah, they were doing it to Rosberg, weren't they?
Charge at this team. I can almost see Helmut Marko's brain smoking from down here at Ferrari in the pit lane. But anyway, here you go.
I think he's talking about the Caterham, Ted. I think he's frustrated that he's just been passed by a Caterham on fresh tyres. And that's what's made him angry.
Which, of course, Kobayashi is more than entitled to do, to unlap himself there. Just one, when they say, Daniel's on a 2-stop, the inference being, you're on a different strategy here, Seb. Right, I have to say, you might want to take a trip to Williams because there's no information coming up on his fuel usage at the moment.
Yeah, and that's a fuel flow sensor then. We heard earlier in the weekend that Sebastian Vettel's fuel flow sensor might have been on the blink down to a seal on it, which doesn't react well with their Total fuel and rather knocks the sensor out. That's supposedly the reason.
React with their own car, but the next man to be lapped by Lewis Hamilton is Jenson Button.
Former teammates, of course. I don't think that's going to put a smile on Jenson Button's face at all as we see down the straight and watch Pastor Maldonado and Esteban Gutierrez. Gutierrez in 14th, Maldonado in 15th. Couldn't get past it, Vettel, because he managed to do a longer first stint.
Absolutely.
So he's done the job in that first stint.
Okay, Lewis, so box. We will clean the front wing. It should give you the equivalent of one turn of balance.
As Maldonado this time has another go on Esteban.
Okay, Daniel, tyres will be good to the end. Tyres will be good.
So necessity of the 2-stop for everybody, that they have to run the mediums. Just quickly on Bottas, telemetry's gone down, of course, for him. That's why you're not getting any of the fuel readouts. So he's having to do the same, reporting back fuel levels and everything to a very busy Williams pit wall.
So let us know on the fuel number, Nico.
33.5. It really annoys me to do that, so I need to stop doing that now.
Copy that, Nico, copy that.
If his fuel's good enough, he possibly can. Might be annoying, but he might need to keep doing it.
Spent seasons looking.
This stage of the race, that's going to work you a little bit. So you sound off a bit, don't you? You just try and take out your frustration where it might not be something that is annoying him. It's just the whole situation is.
So Massa then, having had that big squabble with Fernando Alonso, now gets lapped by him. Just 90 metres straight.
Yeah, this might not be too hard for Nico Rosberg. There's the DRS line. He's almost alongside Alonso even before he gets that advantage. So not only is he up into second place, but he can start to pull away even before he has to put the brakes on at the end of the hairpin. Rosberg in second, Alonso in third. Alonso might be able to stay within a second. He could fight back.
In our post-race.
Cheers, Ted. On board then with Nico Rosberg, with Lewis Hamilton.
We'll just manage the pace, look after these tyres in case of a late safety car.
Yeah, it's the last thing he needs for a second race in a row.
Keep some meat on your boots, just in case. And that, really, is all that can threaten them, isn't it? Ticks.
So Nico, fuel is fine to the end.
But that annoyance then where he has to keep telling them he's not going to have to worry about.
How they know that? Which which is right now, on this day in history, Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, who hasn't been on the podium so far this season. I'll be talking to you, Martin, in around about 9 laps time. Hamilton from Rosberg by 15 seconds now.
Okay, you are plus 12 of Vettel. You are plus 12 Vettel. You can catch Alonso.
I mentioned before that the Red Bull just a little bit thirsty on its fuel. Have they? Good. It's been a long time coming. Ted, down to you.
Really, I hoped he would be in the Maldives or something. I think he needs a massive holiday after all he's been through. But I've just popped into Ferrari, and they are quietly confident of staying ahead of Ricciardo because they're telling me that they feel Fernando has pace both in the car that he's not using and in the tyres, more to the point. So let's see if Fernando can respond once Ricciardo gets right up the back of him. But just
barely been on the same piece of tarmac today, have they?
Well, poor start from Rosberg, and then collecting Valtteri Bottas in the Williams into turn 1 pretty much put him on his back foot, didn't it?
It's got to be the slight worry for Nico, isn't it? That's 2 races in a row now that he's just been left at the start. Last time out by his teammate, and this time by Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso for that respect as well. Pastor Maldonado down in
now 16 seconds ahead of Sebastian Vettel, the reigning world champion.
Well, let's just see now. Alonso crosses the line. The gap was 4.9 seconds, and Ricciardo crosses the line. It's now 4.5, which is not enough. Cost capping and cost control in Formula One as well. As we ride on board with Fernando Alonso. You'll see plenty of Ferrari flags, a lot of Spanish and Oviedo flags as well as he makes the turn into turn 1. And you won't see the man behind him through there. 3.6 seconds is the gap.
But he just took 8/10 out of him.
Just about to say, although, look at the tyres.
There's your graining. And
so what could have been a help actually was maybe a bit of a hindrance.
He got all squirrely down into the hairpin, got a bit late on the brakes, and Maldonado did not leave him the racing line into the last corner. He made him go offline to pass him.
Hamilton and Rosberg, though, still out in front. 15 seconds between the 2 Mercedes cars. We're on board with Daniel Ricciardo, and we can hear from Ted again.
It's a very quick one before this gets tasty on from Force India. They're telling Sergio.
Now Ricciardo and Alonso. Even a bit of heat haze. 16 degrees the air temperature compared to yesterday. It's a balmy spring-like day here in Shanghai. And a day that, it has to be said, Martin, has just gone as well as F3, did it in GP2 as well, did Lewis Hamilton, did it in Formula Renault UK, and in that year won the title in every one.
I just got the checkered flag.
He said there's no checkered flag. I think he thought it was the last lap of the race.
Getting ready to celebrate, but not quite just yet. That's the thing. Every time he's won 3 races in a row in his career, Martin, he's gone on to win the title that season. Final hairpin they go.
Get in there, Lewis. Excellent drive there. Absolutely epic.
Celebrations for Mercedes, but you're right, Hülkenberg and Bottas very close. 5th place for Sebastian Vettel. Hülkenberg manages to hang on to 6th place by half a second. Seconds clear. Bar one moment where he just locked up, went off the track. It was fairly plain sailing for him.
Okay, Daniel, nice job, mate. Very good.
Gave it all at the end, but just ran out of laps. Car got better as the race went on.
The gap between Alonso and Ricciardo. Alonso. The podium finish for Ferrari for the first time this season. We'll join them in talking to Martin Brundle in a few moments' time. We saw after Bahrain, Nico Rosberg was come and rugby tackle his teammate. Such was the adrenaline from Bahrain. Not